Bible, Stacy. I think we're cooking with oil. I'm going to see about dropping the link to you so you can post it in the chat. Okay, hold on, people. Thank you for your patience. Trying to see if we have camera here. One moment. Yay! Okay, Lionsgate. Okay, I'm gonna give it just a minute here. Let me see if I can make this. It says it's private. Why is it private? Public. Can you see if you can see it? Okay. Can you see Tanya in there? Moderator, are you around? Can you text and see if it's live? I don't think it is. It's edit video, but I think it's private. I can't tell if anyone can hear or not. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Anyone hears? Mars. Okay, it says everyone can see the video, but I can't see anyone. She said it's not live. Okay. Let me refresh the studio. Getting close, I feel it. We are not getting close. Okay. In stream. Can I share the stream? Okay. There I am. Am I on? I think I'm on now. Oh, Holly. Okay, you can see and hear. Okay, yay. Thank you, everybody. This has been bananas. I apologize for the delay. All I could say is not Mercury retrograde, it's me. So, in the technology, I'm okay. Yay. Oh, yay. Everybody in the Good Vibe Tribe, thank you for being here. This is the 8-8 Lionsgate, big energy, great time. My name is Joelle and I am the Viberarian. I'm here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. And I'm super excited because tonight I have a guest with me in the studio, whoop, whoop, in my office, the Viberary. Hi, welcome to Stacy Mullen. Yay, Stacy is one of my besties and she is a wonderful guide and spiritual sister on the journey. So I am going to share with you all a download that started coming in yesterday for the Lionsgate, and she spent some time here in the Viberary today, and we channeled in some more cards, and this beautiful message emerged. And then we're going to put the final piece of the puzzle together here this evening. So Welcome to everybody in the Good Vibe Tribe. Let me see if I can run the roll. We've got Stacy over here, Goobaloo, Tanya, thank you for moderating. I see Christopher, Animal Beard Guy. I tell you, you keep me cracking up all the time with your jokes. We got La Munch, Dr. Tracy, the heart practitioner, and I don't know who checked in the first part, but thank you to each of you all, the Good Vibe Tribe. We are all on the same wave and it is big energy. So I'm super excited for this message to come in tonight. Now, what I did yesterday, I started out, well, first of all, Stacey, do you want to say anything before I pivot? Okay, all right. So what I started yesterday was a download, and I didn't realize it at the time. I thought it was just my normal like kind of guidance, but I was guided to work with this relationship, the sacred geometry of relationships oracle. So as soon as I drew the cards, I was like, okay, wow, this is amazing, great, I see it, very balanced energy. So we're gonna just do some like camera stuff here in a minute because there is an image that emerges. But the first thing that I had was in terms of the first two cards and then the conclusion, which what I saw was the masculine and feminine, because it's all about our polarity and how we're balanced and operating as individual selves in a unified structure. So I read this as masculine, feminine, and then the spiritual connection or ultimate source guidance related to that. So we had the fifth chakra and the sixth chakra. So the fifth chakra was the masculine element. I'm sorry, the colors are not coming through the best here, but one is a deep purple. Let me see if I can make an adjustment here. One is a deep purple and one is a vibrant blue. So in the masculine side, the truthful expression, that's an activity of bringing forth manifestation out into a form or vibration or energy. And the sixth chakra, feminine, which is like our intuitive connection in the higher crown chakra. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because out of 44 cards, I got two primary chakras as the initial balance. But I was like, okay, this is like big personal energy. And of course, with the Lion's Gate, I was thinking about the eights and the infinite and that kind of luminous symbol in terms of balance. So the overarching energy was that of abundance. And this is, of course, card number 8. So then I knew, I was like, okay, this is Lion's Gate. This is Lion's Gate portal. Okay, here we go. That's a good space for it. Ooh. Beautiful portal energy, this fiery sacral burst of things, infinite abundance. And I was like, what a beautiful balanced message, because we have 5 and 6, which is 11, which brings into then a conscious co-creative state. And there is an infinite energy cycling then from that aspect. So beautiful place to be in yesterday. I don't know. Did you have any thoughts about that, Stacey?
That's great.
Okay. I mean, right. So I kind of just gave over the cards and I was like, look what happened yesterday. And we started having a conversation. All right. So then the next question. Matter of fact, I want to give you a sense of what this looks like. Stacey, could you show like how deep we're going to go down this little download and rabbit hole if possible? We're working through our technology. So this is a hack, y'all. This is what a hack looks like. Hold on here. I've got to switch my camera perspective. Okay. Let's see here. Can we bring it over? Yeah. So we're going to get this big. All right. We got to download and we're going to fill in the last 2 pieces of, matter of fact, the last 2 pieces of the puzzle when we build it over. So we're just here at the nucleus and center of the download message. All right. So there we go. Thank you. All right. We're coming back on. Okay. This is so fascinating, y'all. Sorry, there's a lot going on here, but I'm just really excited because this is, most of all, it's just very fun for me, the way that Spirit sends the messages and communicates. So give me 1 second while I get my screen back open to where I need it to be. Okay, so Munch says she just pulled the Kali card stating an exceptional breakthrough in the healing of masculine and feminine. Okay, truthful expression, that it comes from a higher divinely guided place. Hearing the truthful expressions that spirit is giving to you, right? And moving with your intuition and masculine into manifestation, and that beautiful infinite return is awesome, right? So then the next card that came out was, okay, I said, okay, as above. So as above was intuition. Okay, so here we have the intuition. That is the high priestess. That is the Sophia energy that brings in. Here we have those three things together, those interlocking images. I think, where do we find it? Like right here kind of is a good sweet spot. Beautiful interlocking resonant images. So I'm like, okay, as above, and then so below. So the root chakra actually came up, and I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. So here we are using our masculine and feminine selves in an infinite flow of energy exchange. There is no imbalance in the polarity. And we're taking that intuitive guidance from above, bringing it down through and into the manifested realm, so below. Okay, now, one of the things that we were talking about in our conversation, first of all, let me pause and say hello to Helen from Australia. Beautiful to see you. I haven't talked to you in so long. And it's just beautiful, the network of the Good Vibe tribe that comes together. And of course, this lion energy and the lion tribe, we're big-hearted lions here. So all right, let me keep moving with this. So one of the things that we were talking about in our time here this morning, Stacy and I, was that Venus retrograde had brought an opportunity for things that were emotionally deep within us, that were hurts in regard to relations that were deeply felt, and like how there could be anger or like resentment for the things surfacing now when we thought we had resolved them, and then like trying to find a way to approach how people could behave in certain ways that are hurtful to others. And it was like we were talking about how you have to have some kind of compassion, because you know it must be something super strenuous that causes people to harm other people. I mean, hurt people, right? So in asking that question, then the energy that came up was, I said, well, it must have been a financial motivation. Maybe fear or lack caused them to do unethical things with other people's money. So that was first chakra. So here we're talking about how the stresses in the matrix really can drive people to do things out of desperation that one would think are not possible in terms of harming other people. And that compassion, not acceptance, but understanding that hunger and starvation is a big motivator, right? And so if a person is trying to keep their safety, security, or protect their children, they will ration through the process of providing for that thing that they are most responsible for as a survival mechanism. So when that is triggered, which the matrix is very good at doing, we got to pay our bills, we got to do this, that, and the other. The thing is, when you recognize it, what you have to find a way is to be in an energy of forgiveness. And so when these two cards came out, I know, Stacey, we stopped and it was like, okay, all right, this is like a deep kind of conversation when we're talking about the energy of how do you resolve into grounding down forgiveness energy. And the Ho'oponopono, she was like, I Ho'oponopono somebody this week. Yeah, you know, like when we have to go through like a intentional exercise. I don't know if we can move that. Sorry, y'all. An intentional exercise where we really do acknowledge a situation of owning and receiving harm and possibly giving harm, like in a real intentional way, that is an exercise that takes muscle, it takes energy, it takes exertion and effort, right? But to me, the thing that is most resonant is that when the forgiveness is not coming from necessarily the human aspect, it's coming from the divine aspect, which recognizes I have been this and manifested this previously in my reality somewhere along the experience of expression. That's the whole purpose of the incarnational opportunity, is to be good and bad, to be harmful and healing in terms of things, right? So it's not my compassion that I'm delivering. It's like compassionate for if I was you in the mile in your shoes today. And I think I said to you jokingly, I don't have to like lose everything and go through this similar experience to actually be able to identify with the compassionate option towards this situation, right? I prefer not to have the experiential learning, because I mean, experience is a good teacher, right? We all know that. But I prefer to be able to relate to the past life or present aspect of myself that could have been stressed to that point that I chose the harmful path to others. It's always easy to say, oh, I could not have seen how that could have happened, but let a person have a hole gnawing in their belly because they're hungry, and they have a baby to feed or something. It puts a whole realm of different things into what some people would consider doing, right? So, okay, so we're after this point, the image started to shift. So rather than the center of the wheel, the abundance and intuition moved to the top. So can we show this, Stacy? The wheel changed from the triple centered heart into an active expression of what is the principles of like the Hermetic principles, if you will. All right, so let's switch over here to 1 and 2. All right, so let's see here. Yes, perfect. All right, so we now have like a center column over here. Sorry. All right, see how the center column is now coming? So as above, so below. So then the next one is going to be as within, so without. And then so the universe, so the soul. So that is where we are going with this. All right. And it built out layer by layer. So you'll have to allow us a moment, because Stacy started receiving her own downloads with this that was an extra layer. So as above, so below. As we know, that's that infinite energy then moving upwards and downwards. It is never ceasing, and it is only interrupted when some kind of sharp structure like a pyramid is inserted that changes the natural organic expression of the infinitely abundant potentiality. If you look at this, this is like a spark. It's the egg at inception. It is like the cosmic womb, the cosmic Om. It is orange and creative. So there is no end to the creation ability of cellular structures and matter, right? So as above, so below. We're bringing that energy down. As within, so without. So if you are receiving the higher intuition and guidance, then the forgiveness that you can be in the outside world can be manifested, right? So as above, so below, as within, so without. And then the last two, as the universe. And it was the divine masculine, which for a minute threw me, because I'm like, wow, okay, we got masculine. But the universe is the actual creational expression of the divine intuitive spark. So here we have this expansion out into the world. So as the universe, and then this was the beautiful kicker, so the soul, and the soul card actually came up. All right, so we have this beautiful emergence of a picture here, and I will share these hard pictures of the diagram on my social pages later, but it turned out to be a wheel of 8. So we have intuition and abundance, 5th and 6th chakra, forgiveness and 1st chakra, the divine masculine, and the soul, balancing out this fractal or this expression of 8 of the infinite way the spirit moves up and down. So we're going to see if we can get that as well on here. One moment. All right. Let's see here. Are you able to? Oh, the light is shining in the way. Let me see if I can angle it this way a little bit here. All right. So we have this beautiful pinwheel that has emerged. All right, so there's a whole lot that we're going to talk about in terms of this energy, and I'm going to bring the cards up like one by one. And Stacy, if you will be able to also then talk about, I mean, at this point, I think it's good if we pause and like have you talk about, then we had just a moment of ritual before we started really looking into the channeling, and I could feel more information getting ready to come. So that's why I also wanted to make sure that I invited her to come back this evening, because it was very complex and beautiful, as you can see what is emerging. And in addition to that, I also had drawn from the Sacred Sea Oracle. And again, the sea and the ocean, the salt water, so much about the womb and the creative space. And so I have 2 cards from that. But in just a moment, when we get through with this channeling, I'm going to pull live the final 2 cards from the companion deck from this author, Lon, that is just the sacred geometry activations, not the relationship geometry activations. All right. So let me turn this over here to Stacy for a moment, and we can talk about, let me move over here. Yeah. So in talking about what you saw here.
I love being in the Viberary. Thank you for having me, letting me be in the space with you today. It's such a magical place.
If you're in Atlanta and you want to arrange time, you need to holler at me. The library is placed in a space for elevating one's consciousness. And so, yes. All right. So
what I noticed when the cards were pulling themselves, when they were coming out, they were just coming out rapid fire. And they were pretty much falling in play in where they wanted to be. Like Joelle said, we opened up some sacred space, some ceremonial space, and called in the directions. And the information that we were getting was going in the cycle of a compass, starting in the east, where we got this 6th chakra information. I wish we could.
You mean I can be your cards. The 6. You had both of these?
Yeah.
Yes. So to the east,
where this divinity, this beautiful divinity was culminating. And I like what the card said, because it gives such a beautiful description. The soul, we call in the east, the energy of soul activates our connection to the part of us that is closer to the higher realms, God or the divine.
All right.
And then we went through and called in
the 5th chakra.
This was the 6th chakra.
The 6th chakra. The energy of the 3rd eye supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. Okay. So then
And then to the south, we found this where the beginning was like the energy of forgiveness and the energy of like finding safety and peace inside of your own self, just being rooted and so grounded. This the energy of the first chakra, the root chakra, supports our sense of safety in a physical world and reminds us to enjoy our physical bodies, like finding pleasure
instead of scarcity.
instead of scarcity, instead of fear.
And then that,
and being able to forgive others and yourself, like being able to
you brought that up, like the forgiveness of self.
the forgiveness of self first, forgiveness for whatever things.
My whole opponent yourself, right?
Exactly.
Like whatever
Yes.
I've done, like
It starts with me.
yeah.
Yeah. And then to the west, we had the divine masculine. This is just such a beautiful balance of frequency, which supports our active, focused, and strong side, facilitating our capacity to transform our dreams into form, manifestation, doing, being.
That yellow is that begins to come through, that heart-centered doingness begins to come through the center, and that masculine is the outward doing of the feeling. Beautiful. And then to the north, right?
To the north, where abundance flows, our intuition, our guidance, the things that we believe and know for sure, our faith, it's there, and it's there in abundance. And we open up this beautiful space, and this amazing guidance through these cards came up. This portal is, I feel it. It is strong, and it is changing, and it's changing rapidly.
Absolutely. I love the cardinal direction overlay of experiencing that. And again, the structure winds up being very sensible in the way that it's presenting. So what I also was then seeing is the cellular spark of the single conception moment that we have. And then in the process of fertilization, the cell divides. And we've been taught that the division is into two, but if you see here, it's really three, because that creator expression never departs, even though there is polarity in cellular division. That center creator expression never departs from the incarnation, or anything that we call an experience could possibly happen. And even in this image at the very center is that orange. Kind of resonant with this explosion of energy. And you could almost, the womb portal as it goes inward in this sacral chakra imagery, right? Okay, so also then, in terms of, we are grounding in a reality that is one that is built on the concept of forgiveness. Right, that is the lesson of compassion that says, though you are slain, I have slain others, and I would want to be forgiven. Therefore, I find the way to forgiveness, not penance, not restitutive. Right, energy is automatically restitutive. It automatically restores voids. It may not happen in the way that you wish it would recognize, but the void and vacuum polarity must balance out, right? So the thing of the long game is that you will be here for the return of the energy that's either disadvantaged from you, or that you disadvantage from others, or that you seed abundantly to others, then so you shall receive abundantly back. Because that's also in alignment with the divine principle of as above, so below, infinite expression, right? And so it's interesting because in the masculine and feminine, can we pull up the purple ones? In the, arms of the structure here, right? And how they work together with like spirit connected, from the fifth chakra, throat, expression and creation out in the analytic world from the soul and intuitive guidance that comes in through your third eye and crown chakra. That's where your intuition speaks, right? So intuition comes down, speaks, gives the drive and the seed. The masculine speaks and makes manifest then the plan out in the world. And here we have infinite abundance, and the cycle begins and ends infinitely and ever. Amen. Okay. And a whole ashe and everything. All right. Now, okay. Yesterday, I want to read the soul from the card, and I want to read the abundance from the card. So we're going to start with the abundance because that's what came in very first that started this whole download, all right? I am abundant. Feeling abundant is a state of mind that fluctuates under the influence of our consciousness and the focus of our attention. Of course, our ability to guarantee our physical survival and safety is paramount. Okay, first chakra. After that, our sense of fulfillment has less to do with what we have and more to do with our ability to cultivate our sense of abundance. Our capacity to view life from a positive perspective is crucial, and so is our comprehension that we are significant contributors through our thoughts, words, and actions to what and who shows up in our lives. Feeling connected to a higher power, to the universe, God, spirit, strengthens our ability to feel abundant as our feelings of being loved and our sense of belonging to something larger than ourselves fills our heart and soul. Being connected to a higher power, right? Higher power, these were at the top of this little image, beautiful, fills our heart and soul. The card is a rich, deep colors, reminiscent. Can you grab that again? Awesome. Thank you. Reminiscent of a scene from an Arabian fairy tale, rich in treasure and lavish fabrics. The flower represents the heart, open to receive from and pour out into the world. The background shows a close-up of a leaf, the veins representing the way abundance is woven throughout our reality. The various elements that are in patterns of 6 stand for love, harmony, and relationship, all significant to our sense of fulfillment. Abundance and relationship. We all desire abundance, abundance of money and success, and abundance of relationships. The first two usually have to do with the physical world of matter, of stuff. The third is all about what fills our heart and our soul. And what really fills our heart and soul seldom has to do with anything material. Our deepest sense of fulfillment comes from feeling love for who we are, to believe that we are seen, touched, heard, understood, and accepted. We are social creatures. We thrive on deep and meaningful connections with others. We can feel enormously abundance through the authentic interest and loving care someone shows us. And with the sense of feeling love comes an undeniable sense of prosperity and abundance. Food for thought. Do you feel abundant? What aspects in your life make you feel abundant? We can cultivate a feeling of abundance by focusing on all the riches in our lives instead of obsessing over the things we believe we lack, the things outside ourselves that we desire to fulfill us. Can you think of 3 things that you are grateful for? How about 3 things that you are really good at? And 3 things that someone else did for you that were kindness. All right, that's a beautiful meal. I will receive that. All right, and then we are going for the soul guidance, number 37. I am soul. Anything that comes after the I am is the word that went upon the waters that manifested all creation, right? So like love, the soul has always fascinated humankind. Some describe it as the spiritual essence of a human, which is beyond the physical part. Others refer to it as the divine in us, a little piece of God within. While we are mortal as physical beings, the soul is considered eternal. Some believe that death is merely a transition in which the body dies and the soul separates from its physical vessel to later return in a new body. Although the belief in reincarnation is mainly found in Eastern religions, the belief in a soul is pretty much universal. As much as we know and feel beyond any doubt that there is such a thing as the soul, we really have no way of determining what is, let alone proving that it exists. The soul seems to be a part of us, yet we don't know exactly what it is or where it is. Is it inside of us or is it outside? Unlike the three-dimensional physical parts of our body, the soul seems to be multidimensional everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Despite all we do not know about the soul, most of us have an intrinsic or intuitive sense of it. The word soul evokes thoughts of something ancient, something deep and mysterious, something that is us yet larger than our human self. We are born as a living soul. We do not obtain our soul from our parents. Our soul is the part of us that always is and always will be. When we speak of old souls, we refer to people who have maturity and wisdom beyond their years. Many believe that the soul carries the experiences of all lifetimes lived. This would explain why some seem to be born more mature and wiser than others. They simply have been here many times before, living, loving, and learning throughout multiple lives. Okay, I had to set this up because this was on page 111. This is conscious co-creation. When you take that two things, when I said there is cellular division, but there is a different aspect, the third aspect, that is soul showing us itself in the presence of what we think is a dual cell organism. It is not just the biology, it is that third energy, which they said comes from the intuition, right? They just said from the soul comes down. So I'm very, very resonating with that. So it says the pinks and violets in the image description refer to the highest frequency in the visible spectrum of light and therefore are associated with source, the divine, or God. The white refers to the purity that is associated with soul and the divine. It looks like feathers in reference to the connection with the divine, soft, pure, heavenly. 12 is associated with the divine. It is considered a creative and fundamental number and signifies completion. Within the 12, we find the number 1, the number 2, and the sum of them, the number 3. 1 stands for wholeness, eternity, and new beginnings. 2 stands for duality and balance, and 3 is a catalytic number. Soul and relationship. The most common context in which soul and relationship are put together is in the concept of soulmates. As a soul on a continuing journey on earth, we can have many lifetimes in a physical body. Throughout these lifetimes, we form many connections in relationship with others, thus adding to our experience, wisdom, and maturity. A soulmate is often someone we have spent other, even many lifetimes with. This can explain the deep sense of familiarity and recognition we generally feel towards a soulmate. Some believe that we can have many soulmates. Others believe that we only have one. Especially in reference to romantic relationships, we often seek to find our soulmate as we believe this to be our one true love. We are living longer than humans ever have, so most of us will have several significant relationships at different stages in our lives. In addition, our expanding consciousness is rapidly increasing our understanding of the multidimensional essence of the human being and the soul. A multitude of soulmates, either romantic or otherwise, seems not only desirable, but logical in the evolutionary journey of a soul in a human body. And I can say that most of the people here who are in the live and in the chat tonight are soulmates to me, like part of my like tribe. Like we've agreed to be in this cluster, in this journey, in this connection, in this now moment. Like we came back right now. We're sisters and brothers and old lovers and parents and family, and we're here doing all this together. That's how valuable the relationships that I have around me are to my soul growth and development. If that's what a soulmate does, is they agree to help shape you. We shape each other along this journey, right? So the food for thought is, what do you think the soul is? Do you believe in the eternal soul in a temporary body? Do you know any old souls? Do you feel that you are an old soul?
I think we are.
Oh,
We are
yes.
old souls, and we do this time and time again. We agree to come back in this time and place through these portals, like this 8-8 portal.
Right.
And
For
do this
this,
life
to do
together.
this. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Do you believe that souls find each other over and over? If so, how does that occurrence support these souls' journeys here on Earth? Do you believe in the concept of soulmates? Do you believe that there is only one soulmate, or can they be many? Many. Do you think that a soulmate is always a romantic connection? No. If you feel you've met a soulmate, what attracted you to the person at the time? Do you make decisions or connections from your soul? Do you find a difference in your thoughts, feelings, and words when you act from your soul? Do you smile or feel good when you tune into your soul? Yes. What does your soul want and desire today? Okay, so what does your soul want and desire today? That is the $100,000 question. Forget the Powerball lottery drawing. Like, what do you want to bring through this portal of creation in the moment today? I am going to read the forgiveness, because that's is hard, right? And we can use all of the support that we need. I am forgiving. It's a bright card too. It's a bright card. It's like a cheerful card. It's light, it's sparkly. It's not a heavy kind of energy, right? Forgiveness is the process of intentionally letting go of emotions about others or ourselves that are uncomfortable, like resentment and anger. Emotions are energy in motion, and through the process of forgiveness, we allow the energy that is held in our bodies by our feelings to move and be released. Any emotion that is not properly processed has not been allowed to move through the body and out. Instead, it will be held somewhere inside the body, causing blockage of energy flow. This can eventually lead to great discomfort and dis-ease. True forgiveness comes from the heart. We can make a conscious decision to forgive, but unless our heart agrees and is able to feel compassion, our forgiveness is merely a mental process, which does not free us of the emotion. Okay, that's deep. We can make a conscious decision to forgive, but unless our heart agrees and is able to feel compassion, our forgiveness is merely a mental process, which does not free us of the emotions. The image description, the binary sense of color use refers to the fact that forgiveness has no shades or gradations to it. You either forgive or you don't. There is no in between.
There's no in between. There's no gray area.
We say, I forgive, but I can't forget. How many times we say that?
Say that. But
that means you got a little, like, you can be aware. Like, I observe my experience. I don't forget anything valuable of my experience, but that energy of that I can forgive, but I don't forget. We all know what that means. That means, like, I can't trust you. And I'm versus I just operate in a way that I don't have to encounter you. Isn't there a difference?
There's a big difference.
Okay, right. I think there is, right?
You is different.
Right.
So, and generally forever changed when we have to go through that process with another soul.
Forgiveness, you may then choose, you can't operate in the same frequency that you did. That has to be acknowledged by both people, right? But it doesn't have to then be uncomfortable. It can be like, we agreed to part, and this is, it was what it was. To me, the whole Ho'oponopono is where you get to own your part about it. Even like when you're not necessarily ready to see your contribution, you Ho'oponopono, then all of a sudden your contribution will be back. And it's like, oh, well, my bad. Okay, I did hurt you. Okay, touche. We're souls learning. We agree. Well played, soul. Like, I honor you, you honor me. Wow, that was a hard challenge we did for each other, kind of thing. So you were going to say something, right? I'm agreeing with you. And okay, let's see here. It says the softness of the image refers to the softness of the heart that is needed to truly forgive. The golden sparkles refer to the transmutation of negative dark energy into positive light energy, a process that occurs when forgiveness comes from the heart that is openable and capable of compassion. The number 6 is connected to harmony, love, and relationship. Forgiveness and relationship. In order to release anything, we first must contain it. We cannot let go of anything we don't already hold on to. This might mean that in order to forgive, we go through the uncomfortable process of connecting to the feelings that we want to let go. Woo, that's been a lesson this week. Like, I know somebody who was like feeling like crying for just to purge something, right? It just welled up, or somebody who was presented with an X from out of the blue. Good old Facebook always will pull up something X for you to confront you with, a person you didn't get along with in high school, your arch enemy, you know what I'm saying? So you had an instance where it brought up all these feelings, like I thought I was over that, right? Like, okay, I didn't want to feel this anger. I didn't want to feel this sad. I didn't want to do that, but okay, fine. Bring it up, because now I realize there's something that still needs forgiveness
here that I need
to, right?
Yeah, to pardon something,
right?
Yeah.
But Spirit is always trying to help us do it in the most easing and graceful way. We have to remember that it's only if we're resistant to approaching the dig up that Spirit has to get a little more harsh with us, I think. It says here, our capacity to feel compassion for another is the key to our ability to forgive them. When we can look at our lives from an extended point of view, we enter into witness mode. Seeing this bigger picture helps us to grasp the dynamics of circumstances, relationships, and interactions while taking into consideration the maturity, wisdom, and consciousness of everyone involved. Taking it, that's kind of like a smooth little way. That was kind of funny, right? If it says here that seeing the bigger picture helps us to grasp the dynamics of circumstances, relationships, and interactions while taking into consideration the maturity, wisdom, and consciousness of everyone involved. Okay, right? Like, so you know that you can't like have certain conversations with some people. It's not going to foster any forgiveness, and it will be futile.
You have to know your audience, know
like,
who you're working with and what they're working with.
Maturity, wisdom, and consciousness of everyone involved, right? That's where the whole Pono comes in helpfully, because you can throw it up into the consciousness of Spirit. Let Spirit work on both of us. That's really what the whole Pono is about. It's like not just me. It's like me first. I'm sorry. Like I don't know what. Spirit will be like, well, let me show you what, right, you did to this person. And if that's through letting them speak their truth, sometimes in like listening to their whatever it was they experienced, you don't have to agree with what their experience of it was for the conversations to have not been helpful in moving to a point of forgiveness. Sometimes the conversation, when you realize the maturity, wisdom, and consciousness of the person, that's when you really can forgive, because you're like, you know what? I can't expect more, you know. I had another friend who had to like move into a place of forgiveness with their parent who had passed. This was like, I realized he was the best he could. Like, I have to forgive that. He did, you know, I see that he didn't have the emotional skills to really parent me like well. So right. When you understand after encountering somebody, it's like, okay, all right, you know, I can forgive you.
You're talking directly to me.
Am I?
About me.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't mean that wasn't who, but okay. Right. But that's the kind of thing that brings you to the forgiveness point. All right. So witness mode, right? Witnessing another person and seeing where you could potentially be and feeling compassion instead of judging, right? Carrying around with resentment, anger, or pain will take a toll on our well-being sooner or later. Whether those feelings are about someone else or the guilt and shame we might feel about something we have done ourselves, sometimes we are the most important ones that we need to forgive. And I can say this, I think I can share that in the months leading up to, like, Stacy's father just transitioned recently, and in the years leading up to this point, you really did a huge amount of work and
Absolutely.
accept, like, you and him accepted each other where you were.
Mhm.
Like, you really were like, you know what, I see my father, the person.
We got to experience each other from a broader view, and it
Yeah,
was
to
beautiful,
witness each
so that
other.
we could
That
offer
was,
compassion and empathy toward one another, and in exchange, really just this deep forgiveness. I'm so glad that I got to have that with him before he transitioned.
and it wasn't prompted by his illness. This was like just this part of your
It's,
life
it's what I
journey.
wanted
He
to
wasn't
do.
ill. He
He
was
wasn't
just like,
ill.
you
Yeah,
know,
we were
this
just
was,
distant, and I wanted to create a different space for us, and I think he wanted that too, and so we did,
to
and it was
witness each
great.
other. Like, who are
Mhm.
you? I don't even really,
Yeah,
let's know each other, right? So that you could have been in resentment and anger or any other number of things that would have kept you from even being able to experience him in a way that gave you opportunity to be forgiving. And that's a lot of things we block ourselves from the opportunity
yeah,
to forgive other people because we won't even allow ourselves. We won't even allow ourselves to be approached,
yeah.
to even see the person maybe differently. And that's valid. Like, if somebody murdered your loved one, you're not ready to see them. That's valid. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't even hear you to even be given anything right now that would cause my heart to need to forgive you. I need to be in my angry for a little bit, you know, and I think we all could resonate with that as well. So it's not that we have to, I think, necessarily forgive without true acknowledgement of the harm. Like, we can't take away people's acknowledgement of the harmful growth experience of whatever it was that caused the situation. That's growthful, and we can't shy away from that either, you know, because
That's where
that's
the
what
work is.
they say glossy, like, oh, well, you should just forgive. No, no,
We have to take those
no.
feelings that we allow, that
Yeah.
how that allow them to hurt my feelings, or that was I hurt in some way by the exchange, the, am I guilty in any ways? Like, we really have to sit with those feelings and do that deep work in
Mhm.
order to get to that space. But when we have the tools to do that kind of work, like, it makes it so much, it makes it easier, and it makes it so it makes it easy to do life
It
with the
is
person.
less friction,
It's less
right?
friction,
Well,
for
bag
sure.
lady, right? So we have to get these Venus retrograde in times like this and coming through the portals have us an opportunity to see, what am I carrying with me then to the next creation moment? Am I carrying these harms and wounds and baggage, or something that I could forgive if I knew it was there? What they say, a lot of times we are not even aware that something's within us that needs to be forgiven, right? Helen had said, true forgiveness is when we have no hooks left in the situation. We understand both sides of the situation and we let go and have compassion for us. We see the lesson and find no right or wrong.
No right or wrong. I love
Right.
that, Helen.
Thank
No
you.
right or wrong, just different.
Well, and it polarity is what we have agreed to. Now we can move out of the polarity frequency, which I believe is what we're looking at, moving into the unified consciousness that says we don't need the stark black and white. We need the soft, fuzzy gold and the love, where all of us are one and we have less reasons to have to forgive each other, because we have not been thrown into the terror dome with each other to tear each other to pieces for survival and lack and the things that make us feel like we have to harm others. When you know there's love, you don't have to break people's hearts, right? When you know there's money, you don't have to steal to eat. Like, all these things that will come into balance when we get aligned with the divine intuition side of it, which says, forgive, don't keep repeating the karmic energy cycle infinitely, right? Okay, so let's continue on here. We still got a ways to go. Shout out to Marie who just joined. Thank you, Marie. I have to tell y'all, Marie is the reason, like, I was toying with, was I gonna read? I was feeling some messages coming in. She was like, she texted me, she said, hey sis, are you doing a live tomorrow? I was like, yes, I am. So thank you for that nudge from the universe as well. Okay, so Carrying around resentment, anger, or pain will take a toll on our well-being sooner or later, whether those feelings are about someone or the guilt and shame we might feel about something we have done ourselves. Sometimes we are the most important ones that we need to forgive. In witness mode, we might find the compassion that is needed to forgive, whether this involves forgiving another for something that has hurt us, or forgiving ourselves for hurting another or allowing someone to hurt us. From an expanded perspective, we could realize that behind almost all hurtful behaviors are unresolved issues and deeply buried pain, often unconscientiously held. Sadly, if we don't deal with our own inner conflicts and issues, the cycle continues and we end up hurting each other because we are hurt ourselves. Forgiving is a deeply personal and individual process. No one can do it for us. No one but us earns the reward of true forgiveness either. But forgiveness from the heart can spark a profound sense of freedom and liberation, which can be deeply transformative, giving rise to new growth. All right, food for thought. Contemplate the people in your life for whom you hold feelings of resentment or anger. How long have you had these feelings? Has it served you to carry these feelings? Are you ready to let go and forgive? If not, what is holding you back? Is it easy for you to forgive? How do you go about it? Do you have a ritual? Do you share your feelings with the person you need to forgive? Do you think it's possible to forgive a little, or is it something you either do completely or not at all? Do you feel it is important to forgive? Always? Okay, great questions to ask. Okay, so we're gonna keep this moving because we still got another two layers to add. All right, thank you everyone who's here. Non-judgment. Forgiveness is seeing yourself and others through the eyes of non-judgment. Yes, that's from Dr. Tracy. Thank you. All right, so, and yes, welcome everybody. Thank you for holding down the chat room. All right, so the cards that I had from the Sea Oracle wound up being quite beautiful. So the first energy is Botanical Sea Temple, blooming opportunities. Okay, so look at this image. All right, first of all, this is all creation. It's clearly, we both agree it's a sacred womb and yoni and canal of birth happening here. It's very vibrant in color. Like, I just can't even begin to see if I can show you. Let me get the, yeah, the light. Just here. All right, I'm gonna hand this over to you. So this is like a column, a spark of light coming down, and it's very green. It reminds me of the flora and fauna and Fibonacci as well. So in this, so when I read it, I was like, ooh, blooming sea temple. You know, I love the water, and so I'm always curious as to see what these messages are. So where is my book? Here's my book. Here it is. This beautiful Sacred Sea Oracle. This is card number 9. All right. Sacred Sea Ritual, fresh innovations, blooming opportunities. The affirmation is, I am so excited to discover and create new opportunities and synchronistic experiences in my life. I am open to trying fresh things and watching them bloom before my eyes. My life is alive with wonder and magic. Okay, how great was that, right? I'm like, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am excited to discover and create new opportunities and synchronistic experiences in my life. I am open to trying fresh things. Hello, fresh thing. Okay. What's up? And watching them bloom before my eyes. My life is alive with wonder and magic. Okay, this is fresh innovations, new growth, unfamiliar territory, the beauty of participating in the creation of your reality, embracing the unknown possibilities that wait for your celebration. The sacred message is the Botanical Sea Temple is the majestic home to all of the marine fauna on the planet. All the seeds from all time are kept safe here. It is also the dream creation space for new types of marine and land plant life to sprout and bloom for the first time. Once it is cultivated here, it will begin to grow in the most appropriate parts of Earth. This is a sacred place you can visit in your visualizations as a place of refuge, healing, and inspiration. Perform the following sacred sea ritual to access the portal to this extraordinary sea temple. Okay, so it says, are you experiencing a feeling of soul depletion and want to reactivate a sense of wonder, enchantment, and inspiration into your spirit? Yes. This is the perfect time to energetically visit the Botanical Sea Temple. To gain access, you must be sitting in a very comfortable position. Allow yourself to gaze upon this card as it takes you deeper and deeper into the temple. Your intention and visualization power are all you need. You now have access to the entire Botanical Sea Temple. Run around and play in any space or direction you feel inspired to. Notice everything around you and invent any kind of plant, flower, tree, fruit, or food you would like to see grow. Visualize yourself holding the plant and watching it bloom before your eyes. As you touch this sacred creation, visualize an aspect in your life you would like to see grow and bloom. What would this be like? Can you imagine the powerful aroma your new creation in the world will have? Can you smell, feel, and know the essence of your creation? Allow yourself to delve deep within to find the seed you wish to cultivate in your life and let the Botanical Sea Temple empower the fullness of your fresh wild bloom into the world. When you are ready to complete your magical journey and return, be sure to follow your footsteps and travel back the way you entered. Upon your return to where you are seated, take a few minutes to record and write down your visions and discoveries. You will want to remember everything. Okay, hello. How awesome was that? I definitely used that today and plan to use that visualization, right? I say, right? I will definitely visit my botanical garden to seed my creations more intentionally into formation, right? And what does Helen say here? Oh, okay. Bye, Helen. She had to leave. The time change is like significant. I think we're like 12 hours exactly off. So, and Helen actually grows all kinds of good vegetables and fruits and things in her beachside cottage there in Australia. She's like a plant mama. So I think that's really like cool too. I've actually been working to keep plants alive this year for the first time. I have plant babies. I am. They're like alive, right? So, that bringing things to life and having them to survive and then ultimately thrive, right? Because I'm not in the survival paradigm. I'm opting for the thrival, the thrival paradigm. Okay. So then we had, and so in this role, this is where this winds up being aligned, right? So you can see how these energies like are resonant and merging. So this is again in our little wheel of the gate, infinite 8. All right, so then this is the other card that came out, which I love too. It is Unity, card number 21. Now, I love this because it's all kind of queen energy. See, Queen of Diamond Light, and it's a 3. Look at those pinks and purples, okay? And this sits in the wheel right above these and beside this. Beautiful resonance. All right, let me put the pieces back together. Okay, so C, Queen of Diamond Light. I was like, beautiful mermaid energy, you know, it gave me all the feels. I saw the blue, the pink, and the blue. The pink is compassionate love. That diamond crown illuminated part was what was speaking to me. Affirmation, I am, and it's unify passions. Okay, unify passions, bringing to conscious creation. Okay, I am finding new authentic ways to unify my gifts, passions, and talents so that my spirit is shining with diamond light. I am a conduit of abundance and inspiration for others in all I do. Abundance and inspiration in all I do. These wind up being in the same row. Beautiful. I receive that. Okay, so abundance and wealth is upon you. Allow your spirit to shine like diamond light. Integrate your passions and service to others. All right. Sacred message. I am the Sea Queen of Diamond Light, abundance, wealth, and soul nourishment. Okay. For soul. She's over soul nourishment. I haven't read these yet, so this is like now download. It's pretty cool. Soul nourishment. I am the keeper of infinite soul source creative energy. Soul source creative energy. All right. With your overflowing abundance, you can choose to be illuminated with the experience of fully receiving and fully giving of the plethora of your innate gifts. The trick is to find authentic and unique ways to integrate all aspects of things you are passionate about doing and find pathways of service through the unification of them all. This is the code you now have access to unlocking. This is our code that we now have access to unlocking. We've been shown the way through the Lionsgate portal into that realm of abundance through the unification of our passions and our gifts. All right. And I believe I was channeling this earlier today too. Is the door going to knock? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So, this is the code you now have access to unlocking so you can experience the gifts the Sea Queen of Diamond Light has in store for you. In this ritual, it is recommended setting sacred space by playing music you love and dancing to it now. This will accelerate the embodiment and intentions you have to access the divine gifts and codes of divine diamond light, so you can experience heightened levels of ecstasy and radiance shining through your being. Setting this intention gives you access to the diamond light codes within your cells, and choosing to open to this frequency and living from this place of deep, nourishing self-devotion will allow you to be in the full receptivity of your own incredible wealth and abundance in all forms. Okay, so the guidance is to get in your botanical garden and plant your seeds and visualize your intentions. Come out of that space. Then go dance and move your body and shake a tail feather to bring in the Shakti energy of creation, the sacral, so that you can get it up. Okay, right? And then create from that space going forward. All right. So, for the last level of this, thank you all of you for sticking around through this. I can't wait to see. So I am going to use the Sacred Activations Oracle. And so right now we have an empty space on each side of our grid. We've got our center column of the Sacred Geometry Oracle. We've got our two wings from the Sea Mother. And then we're going to look at the regular Sacred Geometry basic deck, the first one that came out. The second one was the relationships. And I love this artist, Mon. Her work is just so amazing. If you can get these cards, they're really good to keep like on your altar and on your space. All right. So we are going to see what comes in here for 2 cards to seal it out. The as above, so below message and the wings of our wheel today. Our infinite eights. All right, here we go. I love doing this, so I'm like, what's it gonna be? All right, top of the deck and bottom of the deck. All right, so what do we have in the above realms here? Right here. Who did it? Oh, 44, universal love as above, universal love. How beautiful. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Wow, beautiful, universal love. All right, we got a master number 44 here. All right, I'm gonna see what this one says. So, oh, it's almost like a cannabis leaf in the center. It is a leaf in the center. It's very leaf-like. I love this is all the chakra colors, right? It's beautiful because we have abundance. 844. Hello to the chat room. All right. 844 is the conscious number for several people I know in the group, but look at how these two resonate with each other. And it is 88 for the 88 portal. That's right. Okay. Oh, and when we had divine masculine, which was at 8. Okay. So, okay, back in. So universal love. Here we go. Oh, wrong deck. All right, and this is the final card of the deck. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Love is probably the most sought after, mysterious, indeterminate, and fulfilling feeling that a human can experience. Its mystery surely derives from the fact that we cannot really describe or define what it is. Is it energy? Is it an emotion? Perhaps it is simply the glue that binds everything together. Whatever it is, we know without a doubt when we feel loved and when we love. As vibrational beings, we hold a frequency that aligns with the frequency of our thoughts and our emotions. And from that vibrational point of attention, we attract everything else into our reality. Love is one of the highest frequencies. When we are in a state of love, we easily attract circumstances and people into our reality that are aligned with that frequency. Human beings are capable of feeling deep compassion and love, not just for one another, but for all life in general. How do you describe what a parent feels towards their child, or how friends feel towards each other, or the love between siblings, among family members, for pets, or even the way we feel about our planet and its inhabitants? Love is a powerful force that drives our actions, motivates our behaviors, and can change the course of our lives. And perhaps the very reason that we are capable of such deep feelings is that nothing fuels our desire for change and evolution more than the love that we are able to feel. When we remember that everyone and everything is connected to the same source, we can overcome any perceived differences and join our power towards a more conscious reality, one based on love. The deep blue background represents the universe, the space in which all exists. Flowers have been traditionally used to express love, affection, admiration, and intention. The flower of life represents the grid on which our three-dimensional world is based. Red represents the physical plane and the passion we feel when we love. The flower in the middle refers to the 1,000-petaled lotus, a symbol for the crown chakra and our connection to source and universal knowledge. The color green indicates an open heart that is capable of love and compassion. It says to try this. Close your eyes and breathe. Can you feel your connection to source? Walk outside and try to feel that connection to the plants and trees around you. Everything on this planet is made of the same universal loving energy. Can you feel that universal love when you pet an animal, hug a tree, or play with a child? Try it today. Can you feel the love tonight? Okay, try it today. Like, try to be a little love, right? Okay. Woo, this is beautiful. I can't even, man, I can't even wait to see what this last card is. Let me check in with the chat here. Okay, everybody's good. Dancing in the chat room. All right, let's get our final message of this channeling and see what it is. Oh, wow. It is heart chakra 444. Wow. 444 on either corner of this diagram. We're going to show this in a minute here before we sign off. But look at that, 444. I can't make this up. I love it. Okay, look at that green. And what was it saying just now? The heart-centered world, right? Beautiful. So we got 1, 2, 3 of our 4 of our chakras, this of 7, like that's a preponderance of the chakras. This is big energy right here. I mean, we're roaring like a lion, clearly. What do we say here? Tracy says, love is all there is with the creative power that gives life to everything and everyone. That's what they're telling us, right? Okay, for this heart chakra portal that we are going to. And this is the other thing, the divine masculine now has the awakened heart chakra. He's not outsourcing his emotions to anybody. He is operating from the integrated self with the masculine and feminine aligned. So therefore is the feminine, embodying the energy of the masculine, like we are balanced in this whole expression. So, all right, we have here heart chakra, the frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life supports our flower of life. Didn't we just say flower of life, right? Supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and the body. Now, the flower of life is one of the vibrational and mathematical expressions of energy. If you want to get into the platonic solids and then the expression, the flower of life, the tree of life, the seed of life, and then like the Metatron's cube, all these are mathematical expansions, and you can go all the way down in the rabbit hole with the flower of life, but it's a symbol that is seen all over cultures, all over the world throughout antiquity, because it is what it represents is consciousness expanding itself. We are the flowering life, okay? All right, so here we say, it is a geometric shape recognized by many cultures all over the planet. It consists of 13 equal circles that intersect at the middle of each circle. And this is on page 7. That's also my number for the divine feminine, the Sophia wisdom energy coming in, all right? It consists of 13 equal circles that intersect at the middle of each circle, creating a perfectly proportioned flower. As a symbol, the flower of life represents the universe as a whole, as well as the harmony in which all the separate components of the universe work together. This beautiful pattern is often used to indicate our understanding of our connection as humans and as spiritual beings to the whole. The color green is associated with the 4th or heart chakra. It is linked to our capacity to love and feel compassion. This applies to our ability to love one another as well as our ability to love ourselves. The heart is located at the center of our physical bodies. Likewise, the heart chakra is located at the center of the chest and mediates between the lower or physical and the higher or spiritual plane of being. Green is the color of nature and earth, and it is a healing color that balances and harmonizes the connection between mind and body. It harmonizes the connection between mind and body. Its sense is touch. Try this. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness to your heart area. Think about something or someone that makes you feel happy and loved. Take another deep breath and feel the smile on your face. Now start bringing other people or circumstances into that loving, happy place. Can you find space even for those you did not think you had room for in your heart? And that ends on page 8. You have to find the space because there is infinite space. We call on the higher help to help us bring down that forgiveness, that heart. It's not always our heart. We love with the heart of the universal one heart. So call on that when you don't have it yourself to give, right? All right, let's see here. Open your heart to receive. All right, so this is a beautiful thing. Let's see if we can see this last picture here. Would you be able to? Oh, here it is. Never mind. Let me see if I can open it up here. Yes, this is called the ring. Let's see. Right? Let me go over here. All right. Here. All right. So you got it. Sorry, I'm jostling around. All right. Sorry. Let's see if we can make it higher. Bring it this way. There we go. Okay. There. You see my inhaler? Yes. All right. So it's really a beautiful image when it comes down in order. Right. Gorgeous picture. Here was the 8, the sea goddess, and then the completion. Beautiful download, lots of activation. Like I said, as you can see over here, the colors wind up being resonant and clustering together. And then, a little more ambient glow, I guess. Okay, and then down here, bringing down to the earth and the you got the green and the yellow also down here. And then this blue kind of sends to swing over it. So it's just such a beautiful, even the top row with the abundance sitting between the two kind of colors here. So it's just like, this is why I love Oracle cards, because it enables us to have a conversation of complexity with spirit that I, would not, I have fun doing this and having these kinds of conversations, right? So this is part of the delight of what spirit allows me to be in a joyful expression of service. It's bringing abundance and bringing down the consciousness through my actions and manifestation from my creative seeds and ideas and inspirations. All right, so all right, I thank you. So as above, as so below in this beautiful Lion's Gate, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. All right, so I thank everyone who has been in the chat for this evening. It's been quite a download. Stacey, thank you so much for you. Thank you. Yeah, it was wonderful. So a great teaching and download, and I'm sure that this information is going to really rapidly expand and explode, just like the seed of consciousness, because this is what that lion's roar is. The lion is the big-hearted. I'm a Leo moon, so I could feel that big-hearted love for the world, right? That just wants to regally stand in confidence of knowing that all that I see is the reality that I've created. Therefore, I must own this kingdom, right? And so therefore, like, create it. Use all of the conscious co-creations to help to bring this unification and experience that we can replicate and propagate and seed and spread along and become viral and grow crops from other people to person. That's how this consciousness. We were talking earlier today about how, like, today's kids have lots of check marks on their box if you try to figure out what race they are, right? Because they're unified. They've had parents that were 3 races on either side, and which one do you choose to stay on? Puerto Rican, Black, Venezuelan, like, so that unification is the natural thing that is happening, blending people outside of lines into unity. And that is really our natural state when the chips are down. We don't need an alien. We shouldn't need like an alien invasion to get us convinced that we're one humanity, right? We can do that through the being able to see ourselves through the eyes of the other and to empathize with them. I prefer that choice to the struggle, challenge, society has fallen apart and we must rely on each other version of our opportunity. So beautiful. Thank you to each of you, to the lion, roar, dance, go to your botanical garden, bring in your divine, and we will change this world one unified soul at a time. Thank you to all of you, and to namaste for you this week. And we will connect again soon. Look for me on social media, and I look forward to whenever I'm guided again to come on and share messages again. Each of you, beautiful. Oh, thank you, Christopher. I'm so glad you're here. I'm getting kicked back up for the fall, y'all. So the energy that Lionsgate, that roar, that doing a new thing and bringing seeds of consciousness is here for all of us. And I'm so excited about our co-creations. All right. Namaste.